Another player through the door, Tom Cannon, has joined Leicester City. So we're going to look into a lot more analysis. We're going to look at his time at Preston. We're looking at how he plays as well, because there's really interesting information around there. Let's get straight into it. Without any ado, let's go on to the first one. So we are looking at Tom Cannon for this one. So Leicester City's new centre forward that they signed. Again, he didn't play against Hull, wasn't even on the bench because he just signed the day before. But let's get into some of the appearances. So in terms of that, why did Everton let him go? Well, because they've got a new striker in. They didn't really rate him that much, but a lot of Premier League teams were after him. The main position he plays is the number 9. Again, and we'll look at some of the goals he scored for Preston. He's only 20 years old, very, very young talent, but has proved it in the Championship. A lot of people are asking for his signature. And the fact that he's come to Leicester City on a 5-year deal is saying something. The fact that we've given him 5 years and Enzo thinks he can get the best out of him is really, really important. Something we mentioned before, Enzo has been the centre part of why a lot of these people joined, all the way from Connor Cody and Harry Winks, all the way now to Fatal, which we've seen in the analysis video, and Tom Cannon as well. So in terms of that, again, he's more of, again, number 9 straightforward. There's been a lot of comparison to him and Nugent, and I will get into that a little bit in the different goals he scored in terms of this as well. So again, he's, again, from Everton's academy, come through and he wants to play first-team football, which is why he's joined Leicester City. One of the things as well, so again, he had a loan time on at Preston, we'll look into in a second, but he's come up the ranks at Everton, and now is his opportunity. He had one brief appearance, get 1 minute. So obviously he wasn't going to get time there, and Sean Dyche didn't fancy him, but mostly plays as that number 9, and we'll show you how he would work in a Leicester City. So I got a little bit carried away there. I'll show you in just a second. Let me just show you some more statistics around him as well. I've tried to look. I can't compare him to David Nugent just now as well. He's 20 years old, so again, very young, still really early in his career and development. He's coming to Leicester to get that. And what is the offer? Well, again, creativity, not bad. Technique, not bad. Considering he's 20 years old, a lot of potential, a lot to go into. Attacking wise, he's fantastic as well. And again, Leicester City paid up to 6 million and rising to 7.5 million. So we spent a lot of money. Bearing in mind, he was more expensive than Hermansen. And you think about how perfect he is for this squad at the moment. He signed as a third striker. So again, I don't think Daka's going to play another game for us, as mentioned. But he plays as a forward. What kind of forward? Let's look at that now. So at his time at QPR, I'm going to show you some goals and how he won. So the first one he scored, again, this is all the goals from Preston when he was at loan to them. Again, I've listened to briefs of Ray Leicester. They were quite disappointed in get him. So the first one is just a simple long ball over the top. Now, I doubt we would do this, but he still runs onto it, still leaving the defenders for dust. And again, his positional play was quite good. His first touch was quite good. And also the finish, pretty decent, quite Vardy-esque in my opinion. So he's obviously an understudy to Vardy at this moment in time as well. For me, that was quite a Vardy kind of goal. The next goal he scored, the ball is just coming over the top, as you can see here. Gets the defender off the ball, stabilizes himself quite nicely on the left-hand side this time, and shoots and scores. Now, it's important to recognize they were playing with 2 strikers up front. So in this case, he was actually playing on the left-hand side. We'll get into some of the formations and some things they were playing so far. But again, plays quite a nice ball, quite a nice goal. And the next one, as every striker should, long ball over the top. Nice cross in from another striker, and then a lovely finish. So again, a typical he looks like he gets in the right positions, which is the most important, than a simple tap in. Even though simple tapping, you've got to get in the right positions for that. And he was in the right position at the end of the day. And this is probably why Preston was so keen to sign him. And quite a few of the other Championship teams were keen to sign him as well. So here, I've just picked him out here. So he's here in the number in this position here. So as a second striker again, and there is again 3 players around him. But as the ball comes into him, as you can see here, takes a touch, takes a couple of touches, takes players out of the game, and slots it past the keeper to the other side of the post. I mean, in terms of that, they should have closed him down. But what a pick out from him to put it in that right-hand side as well. As we can see from this angle, just coming into the game, again, from behind the goal, you can see there's quite a few strikes, all the closing him down, but nobody's really putting their foot on the ball in order to close him down or really putting that dash tackle, maybe because he's towards the penalty box as well. But from his right foot, putting it over to that right-hand side, which I thought was really great. So not only he can score with his feet, with his left foot, with his right foot, he can also score, if you're from this example, from across, nice header, similar way that Rotherham scored against us in this case. Scored again just from a corner, nice header. Again, he's not super tall, but 182, so which is tall, which is decent for a striker. Putting the ball away in the net. Again, lovely header in my opinion. So we can see him here. He's just up here with the defenders. And again, the ball is just coming out of QPR possession. The ball gets hit, takes one touch to come away from the ball, makes the run into the box. Again, and players closing him down, and a lovely finish. So again, another style of goal. He can play in a different way to what strikers we've currently got at this moment in time. So as you can see, he is kind of like David Nugent in a sense. He can score multiple goals, heads, feet, can play in behind, ball over the top. He can play in a few positions. And bearing in mind, he's only had one little half a 6-month stint in the Championship at 20 years old. And he's done really well, in my opinion. I'll show you actually the last goal that we saw against Queen's Park Rangers. I'm going to show you the analysis because he actually scored 2 goals in that. So looking at this game as well, looking at the QPR game, so it was QPR versus Preston, where Tom Cannon actually scored 2 goals. So I'm going to show you that a little bit. So actually he got man of the match as well, as you can imagine, for, again, in that position. So looking at that, they played with a 3-1-4-2 formation. Tom Cannon being, again, from this formation, it looks like he was one of 2 strikers. But if you look at the average positionings, he was actually the out-and-out striker for that team. So you saw that, again, number 50 was more playing on the left wing. There's quite a few players in the same position. Tom Cannon was left as that the number 9 striker, all on his own pretty much. So you can see that, again, he was the main striker, he was in the good position. So I was expecting, looking at this, that his heat map was going to be around this middle side, maybe in the box, because he was playing quite high. Then I go and look at his actual heat map. And if we click on this, you see it's quite all over the place. I mean, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. So looking at this, he was on the left-hand side. He was in the box, which, again, as a number 9, you need to be, sniffing out the opportunities. And then he was, again, sometimes playing more as that number 10, coming back, tracking back, he was here. And then from that left-hand side as well. And his shot map, just to look at those as well, ones that scored the goal. So, again, one, he was on this left-hand side coming into the right. One of them, for that second goal, he scored as well, just coming from this side into there. So, and then one side he missed, one goal he missed, and then one was on target that was actually saved. So 4 shots, 3 were on target, 2 resulted in goals, which is pretty good going considering he's a young player. He's still developing, he's still growing. We're still looking at the likes of Wanya Marcel. He's actually same age as him as well, looking at how much growth he's going to do. And look at how much Enzo's already got out of him. So I'm really excited about him. I just thought I'd show you a match where, well, he scored 2 goals. So where would he fit at Leicester City? So we've got the 3-2-4-1 that we've currently got. I know he's playing a kind of similar formation there. And because of the kind of striker he is, he's probably going to play as this number 9. Jamie Vardy and Kelechi Iheanacho will probably be ahead, but he offers something different we'll get onto in a bit. So I've got McAteer, but it's easy, could be Mavididi, and I've got Yunus, this is easy, could be Fatau as well. They'll probably come in, and this is where we'll see the likes of the David Nugent-esque, where he'll probably drop back, link up play, and also potentially get into the box to score goals with the likes of Yunus and McAteer coming over, simple ball in, and a nice little tap in as well. What it allows us to do with him playing, and he's obviously a very talented player, is break the press as well. So say we've got the opposition's got the ball. I know we like to say possession football, but he would hang on the last man like Vardy used to do. I think he still does it, but not the same intensity that he used to do. So coming in, looking at this, he would be, again, around the box, kind of harrying players, but also he'd run into the box late as people are getting crosses in. But also, I think he would play with his back to goal, trying to bring in the central defenders as well. So he would play as that kind of false 9, kind of like Iheanacho does at times, bringing in Pratt and Casadei, who are prone to lead in the box, and you've got Yunus and McAteer again to follow up. You've got the likes of Ricardo as well, I think, who will actually join potentially in the attack, because he likes to play 5 in the attack. But also Ricardo can help spread the play and then potentially lead Cannon to there for the tap in there. So that's how I think he would fit in Leicester City. So we'd only play with 1 striker, which I know that we've probably talked about David Nugent and Jamie Vardy. They played as a 2. But I think in Leicester City case, they'll only probably play with 1 striker. So that's pretty much it. That's all I've got. I know there's not a lot of information on him. Still a young player. Preston fans seem to really enjoy him. There's quite a few Premier League teams after him. I just want to give you some of my thoughts as well. So considering this is this has been a hell of a window. Genuinely has. I didn't expect it to go as right as it has done. But in terms of that, we've got a real gem on our hands. Enzo was instrumental in getting him in. We gave him a 5-year deal at 20 years old. That's a statement, really is a statement, giving a young player when there was a lot of opportunities. Also, he's got something to prove and we've got something to prove. I think the combination of both, Enzo has something to prove as well. The combination of those 3 and how we've started, he probably looks as go, do you know what? This team is on the way up. I want to be part of that. And he will only be third fiddle. At the beginning of the time, I think he might even slip into the under-23s and play some of their games. Just saw Worthington went on loan, so there could be an option to open up for the 23s as a striker a little bit. But yeah, we've got a fantastic player on our hands. Lots of potential, and he's exactly what we want. A young player that's got talent, that's ready to take that next step up and wants more games. Now, with Leicester City, the time he'll get games, in my opinion, is A, coming off the bench, and B, he will be the player when, especially when Kelechi Iheanacho and Patson Daka go to AFCON, he will be the player that will play alongside Vardy. And I think that's one of the main drivers for him. Again, I don't know how true this is, but looking at the likes of, again, I get to play with Jamie Vardy and learn off Jamie Vardy in the same way that Patson Daka did. But again, Patson Daka didn't work out. We're not sure what his future is at the moment as well. But with he looks like he'll be third choice keeper, third choice defender, number 9 at the moment. Kelechi Iheanacho started the season on fire and looks like he's solidified that first place. Jamie Vardy, I think potentially, as sad as it sounds and as realistic as I want to be, it might spend the end with Jamie Vardy. He'll probably want to go into next season again. We are away yet, but I think that's the end for Jamie Vardy for Leicester City, which is a conversation we'll have more towards the end of the year. But signing a Tom Cannon, a young striker that can play multiple positions, can do balls over the top, can do balls inside, can bring other people into play, that can put a ball anywhere he wants. The only way you're going to do that is if you play 2 up top. Now, Enzo is one of the most stubborn people I've ever seen, and manager-wise, he does not change. And in this case, I don't think he'll change to 2 at the top. I just don't think it'll happen. The only way you do that is if you play wing-backs, and we're not going to play wing-backs. We're not going to play 4-4-2 with Enzo. That's not what he's about. We play that 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 that he mentioned. So I'm really interested to see what he does. We've got 3 different profiles of striker. Jamie Vardy, who plays on the last shoulder and also has intelligence, runs into the box. That's what Tom Cannon has to learn from him. Kelechi Iheanacho, where he's back towards goal, bringing people into play. Again, this is something that Tom Cannon can learn from. I think the first thing is just absorbing all the information from the manager and the other 2 strikers as well. Jamie Vardy might see it as kind of the older dog now, going, okay, I've got to train up the new guys and get them ready for the next generation. It's looking really good, and our squad is looking super healthy. The amount of players we've got out and the amount of players we've got in has been drastic, in my opinion. Genuinely drastic. I didn't expect it to be as much as it has. However, do you know what? We've had a smashing window. What are your thoughts on Thomas Cannon? Do you think Tom Cannon? Sorry, I keep saying Thomas Cannon in all the different bits. What do you think will be a success at Leicester? Again, this is a project that we've got for the future, not just with him, with Fatal, with it looks like Mavididi potentially is another one as well. McAteer is another one. We've got so many gems and so many youngsters. Callum Doyle is another one that are 19, 20, 21 that have got plenty of time to develop into adults and greater players as well. So really looking forward to see how he starts. I don't think we'll see him for the next couple of months or so. We'll potentially see him in fits and starts and coming off the bench, but the fact that Everton fans were upset that they were going to get rid of him and Preston fans were annoyed that he came to, not annoyed, but they wanted him as well, is a good sign. And the fact that he chose us and we're giving him a 5-year deal shows a commitment. So I'm really excited to see how he does. If you'd like to subscribe, check out all that good stuff. Again, there will be a link in go to our channel. And you can check out our Fatal interview, Eunice Atgun as well. Fatal interview. Fatal with the Ghanaian journalist interview. Check out these. Hopefully you've enjoyed these, because I do enjoy making them, but it takes a little bit of time, which you've seen now. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.